wonderful people to enjoy the show. I have some guests coming on. A lady named Cynthia is coming on. She's going to be talking about Measure 11. And King Jay is back there, and he's going to be speaking about some things, hopefully in the future, if we can get him on. But I know she's trying to get a message out. And my point is that I want to talk about very briefly regarding the measure, Donald Trump's failure, because I feel real good about that, because his big goal was to try and clown Obama. His deal is he looks at you straight face, talk like he means you well, and then he's trying to cut your throat, and then try to treat it like I'm not like that when you're 100% like that. But he failed, and now we're dealing with the tax code. But he couldn't pull that little scam off or haven't pulled it off yet, because I want you people out there in TV land to know right now is that it's all a scam and it was all a game, and most of you people are waking up and getting more serious about paying attention to reality, and all these things about trying to put all the people out of this country and not let them in this country, people with green cards and the like. It's just evil behavior on his behalf, and I just want you to know that. But I want to talk to you people about that, regarding about him trying to work with the taxes. That's very important, and I would love to mention the taxes, all the things regarding it. As far as it was in 1913, or I use the term 1910, but in 1910, that's when all the people that got together was running a little scam and trying to pay attention to people trying to act like they were just one resource, and trying to get the Federal Reserve trying to take over this country, which they have, and all the money that goes to a private outfit, and the Federal Reserve have all the money for years, and Donald Trump is sitting there trying to get trillions of dollars given to them. And I just want all you people out there in TV land to pay attention to that scam. And the reason why I talked about it's not important that I have the papers in front of me, but J. Edgar Hoover, and I'm making reference that he went through the back door straight out the front door, and understand he was a black man, the head of the F.B.I. over time. And one day all you people understand that he became the head of the F.B.I. and all the information gathering things that he's done, he made possible for people to do great things in life and move forward. And we singing all those songs about we're overcoming all that stuff. I'm happy for that, because these people, all their messages are moving forward to help people to move forward. But the Federal Reserve is the one that's taking all our money and making a fool out of us as a people. And we are fighting for breadcrumbs, and they keep shifting things around, trying to act like they're really trying to help people, when in reality, the dollar is nothing but slavery, and the money is nothing but slavery. I know a lot of you people out there, TV land, are looking at, what does this black man know what he's talking about? He don't know what he's talking about. He's just an ignorant spook, or whatever they want to think of, or whatever titles they want to put. But I'm just telling you, pay attention. All the way back to 1913, that's the information. And the Federal Reserve has played games, tricked all those people into making those bad stock market investments, thinking they were going to come up real soon. And the rich people, super rich people, just walked out, pulled their money out of the pot, and then looked like they were stuck on stupid, and watched everybody start demanding their money back. And all those people since way back then were losing their property and everything. And that's for making these little silly investments. And people are so con orientated and so bogus orientated that it's so very important for you people out there in TV land to understand that we should be able to go to college for free and go all through schooling all our lives for free. We got people that are multi-billionaire, multi-trillionaire, and they're making all kind of money and doing all kind of great things. But enough is not enough. The eye's enough full of sin, enough full of wanting. They don't care about human beings killing themselves or Americans killing themselves. That's just they're expendable, because it's just a matter of we'll just give them 2 or 3 medals apiece, or a bunch of medals pinned on their lapel or whatever, and say you can leave happy, you served your country well. And these people, it was Henry Ford way back in the day. He was playing for Hitler, not for Hitler and the United States when it came to his making cars, all kind of different vehicles. It was all about the money, and when people get wealthy, it's just really all about the money, and it's paying attention to trying to have the money. And you got a lot of very wealthy people that have paid attention to is all about the money. So the reason why I'm repeating these things over again, because it just can't sink into your heads good enough, because you can play those YouTube videos until you're about to vomit or throw up, and you're not doing nothing because you're only thinking about right in front of yourself, but you're losing your homes, your cars, and your wealth, or anything that you're trying to establish or build up. That's what you're going to lose. And when Trump was trying to use Obama as a scapegoat, he was just trying to act like, well, we're going to try and scrap his plan that's been enforced or in place for 7 years, and millions of people had gotten this insurance and was helping them to do better, to have money available to them to live longer. And they came on television, they were talking about, we're dying and I don't have long to live. And what Trump would have done would have kicked these people all off their insurance, because they never had a plan. And that's why that never went through. A lot of you people, it's very sad, because you're thinking that, Trump got a plan. He's maybe got a real estate plan, but he ran a bunch of scams with that, run the country, tricking people, and got buildings and things like that, and putting his name to everything, and that issue sales. People make a lot of money off information that you will allow them to use your name for and to continue to move forward. And he never did show his taxes. So again, he, as our president of the United States, he's not paid no tax, never did show his tax papers, or never did any of that stuff. He's the president now and still haven't did it. He does a lot of tweeting, and a person that tweet a lot is basically his open information, and this thing will be written into history to a lot of people, because once he's said all this stuff or tweeted all this different stuff, the FBI have called him not being truthful. Many people saying we got this information, and because he's the president of the United States, he's not going to suffer for having said this stuff. I wanted to look the information up and repeat it to you people as he will have said it, but I wasn't able to find that to make reference to that. But it's very important to you people out there in TV land to understand all the wonderful things that Donald Trump hadn't done for you, me, and everybody else. And a lot of things that are moving forward, it's just moving forward. He not talking about people getting all these wonderful cars, and or this oil deal that went through over the Indian reservation or Indian land or Native American land. He didn't care. The people were still getting the pipeline laid out, and so we're talking about, well, it's got to be all about the money. You got a lot of people Donald Trump was sitting around talking to that he was speaking to, that were supposed to be trying to get jobs in the United States or in America, trying to bring jobs. And they've been in this country for doing all kind of business stuff in this country, but nothing has yet really gotten done. But that's good conversation. He's lying about he was wealthy or rich or got tons and tons of money and he's a billionaire, or tons of people, or he claimed himself to be a billionaire, but tons of people are not claiming themselves to be billionaires, even though they are billionaires. But Trump is just an ignorant person, and all the people saying it, making reference to him. When he tweets a lot of information, he's doing that, not a plan designed with people in mind or human beings in mind. He's just doing it to be doing it because he just loved to hear his mouth run. But he says a lot of great things, like, and I use the word great thing because he's talking about the people that were trying to shut down the Federal Reserve, and the president was trying to shut down the Federal Reserve way back in the day, and that's why the Federal Reserve is trying to fix it, where we're trying to make some Native Americans own money, or the $10 bill, or the $10 bill, or whatever. The black woman, he's trying to put her on the $20 bill, or whatever he was trying to do, trying to take the attention off themselves as if we're trying to be fair. These people are super wealthy, trillionaire, billionaires, because they're running the Federal Reserve, they're running the money, everything. But it's like the eyes is never full of sin, never full of wanting. So human beings are expendable, and Democrats and Republicans, all they do is fight and war against each other. Everybody's trading sides and doing everything. But when it comes to getting something done, everybody's too busy fussing and fighting. But they need to fix it where all that money, when they try to tear up the Pentagon and then try to blame it on that a plane ran into the Pentagon, we know those are all lies, and there was no plane that hit the Pentagon, and that's very important. So I want you people to know that. You got people that's very responsible or in powerful positions to help people that have done nothing. They just looking straight face, pointing their fingers at anybody but themselves, but away from themselves, and that's horrible. But I'm just saying to you people out there, pay attention, and we need to get this tax thing squared away. And so the scam and the con is not just going to move forward and keep on tricking people and conning people. We need to get the money squared away and get rid of that the people that is controlling the money. And they're not even the Federal Reserve people or all the people that's supposed to be. It'd be like the if you're trying to get a hold of the people that are talking about the money, if U.S. Or Federal Express, we know that is not the belong to the government. If Federal Express doesn't belong to them, and that money scam that people been running, that's just all a scam. But I just want you people to pay attention to, we're trying to get our money so that all people, human beings, can go to college and do things for free. And it ain't got nothing to do with whether you're a Republican or Democrat. And then you quit being so foolish and silly or whatever, independent or whatever. It's just important that money need to go back into poor people's hand or people's hand. And that's what's so very, very, very important. So that's what I'm talking about today regarding the Federal Reserve and all those scams they're running. And those are the things that I'm interested in. Well, we have this young lady that's going to be coming on to speak about her situation about the Measure 11. So if she's want to come in, where's she at? I don't see her. Yeah. So I'm waiting for her to come through. I don't know where she's at, but maybe she got some wonderful information to speak on, because that Measure 11, a lot of people went to prison or to jail and all those evil things that the system is doing. Because their eyes are bigger than their body. It's all about the money, and it's all about the lockup, and it's all about the imprisonment, and we need to stop all that. We're not trying to solve murders and not trying to catch these people that are committing real crime. We're putting people in prison for being drug addicts and dope dealers, and when you're sick and you're not mentally healthy, you're going to start doing all kind of evil, wicked things to your own self and anybody that will allow themselves to be a victim. And they're not allowing themselves to be a victim or being victimized or in a wrong place, wrong time, and being a victim. Is she out there? And so, again, I'm waiting for her to come back, but she hasn't ever came back in here. So if King J, if you're anywhere around, okay, he's nowhere to be found. So I'll just go ahead and, that was my main issues that I wanted to raise to you wonderful people out there in TV land. And she was just here a moment ago, but obviously it's not her here right now. King J, are you anywhere around?
Yes, I'm right here.
So she never came in. So
she was in the bathroom or something like that.
Yeah, well, come and have a seat.
Okay.
And
Set up in here real quick for her.
what is that?
I'm going to try to set up in here real quick for her.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the. Didn't want to take somebody else's time and space. Anyway,
I'm just trying to keep
you. I understand that.
I'm not worried.
And let me say, giving honor to God first and foremost to everybody out there, like I normally do. I came by just to get in where I can fit in. A couple of things that I wanted to bring about to your attention today too, since I'm here before the other person comes on. I brought this here Charter of Freedom thing to you last week, and I couldn't necessarily get into it because of the time. But I wanted to read you at least two things on here. Well, maybe they can hear me. Oh, okay. Yeah. I wanted to get at least a couple of things to you. Well, I don't know if you heard me say giving honor to God, but that's always. But I wanted to get a couple of things to you here. Article 6 on here in terms of your freedom in terms of owning property and things. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against the unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath of affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. That's 6. I wanted to read 7 as quickly as I could. No person shall be held to answer for capital or otherwise infamous crime unless a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or of naval forces or militia, when in actual service of time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject to the same offenses to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be witness against self, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, or shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. So that's 6 and 7 of the Charters of Freedom here. So I wasn't able to do that last week, but I'm glad to share that with you this week. And I know we got some other people coming on, and that's fine. But also I want to bring back again the constitutional law book that I brought here before that people need to glean into for the impeachment of the administration. It's only an hour show, and we got other people coming, so I'm not going to open it up and get into that. But this is the edition that was in 1980, and it's by Gerald Gunther, so don't think I made it up and wrote it. So I just wanted to share that with you, too, right quick. And I know they're getting set up in there for the other people to come on, so we're trying to keep it moving as best we can. That's what I say. I come here to get in where I fit in. When I bring these flags up, obviously this is the United States flag. This is the freedom flag. So my point now is, where is the freedom in the United States? Like I said before, is there an African American dream? Is there an American dream? A lot of our rights are being taken away from us no matter what color we are. And a lot of this stuff needs to stop. People can only take so much, and there's nothing else left to give. So you see, something's got to be done. And I still repeat myself when I say we need attorneys, we need lawyers, we need people that's really going to speak up. Civil, not corporate lawyers. We need civil lawyers that's going to listen to our cases and take them. We don't have money to put forth, hey, let me give you 10 for a retainer, 10,000 that is. Let me give you 20,000. No, we need people who are really going to take these pro bono cases and at least get them set up in the courts, because that's what's happening. So to move along real quick before we even get into there for the studio, I want to mention something that's happened right now in Portland with the new chief of police that the mayor has placed on leave along with one of his other goons. And before I was on this show saying, just watch, something's going to happen with him and that. And that's exactly what's happening right now. So I just want to bring that to your attention. The chief of police is placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. And there's a lot of things going on here right now with police, not just in Oregon, but everywhere, shooting people and things. We need to pay more attention to that, and we need to get involved and somehow voice your opinion, get involved in your neighbors, in your neighborhood stuff. And I ain't saying lay in the street and protest, because I don't do that myself. That's really silly. I used to work the hospital. We got emergency vehicles trying to save people's lives. So don't lay in the street. But it's a way in how you can really get your message across and get your voice heard. So without further ado, I know we have people here to speak on Measure 11. I never liked it in the first place when it came along. Now it's also affecting other people, and it has affected people. So I'm going to just exit out of here and let them come right on in here. And since they're ready, I appreciate the time to be on, Apostle Cecil, and I'll always be back sometime. You know that. I will be around. Thank you very much.
Okay, you got the speaker thing.
Oh, yeah, the mic. Yeah, good thing you said that. I'd have walked right off.
I did say that.
Okay, here, maybe I should let you get it so I can't see where it's pinching. Okay.
There.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Okay, here we are. So here you are coming in.
Yeah, let me get to this. Okay.
Okay. Have a seat.
Is it on the air?
You have a seat. Yeah, you'll be over here.
Okay, it's not right now.
Yeah. Okay. Now you can see you're on there now.
Okay. I'm on air now.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Lester from Abolish Oregon, Measure 11, Cruel and Unusual Punishment. We're going to talk about the whole pie, about mass incarceration through the U.S. So, anyway, the whole pie, if you can see my chart, you can see state, federal, and local. Blue is all the states. That's mass incarceration. Those are prisons. We're looking at the jails, how they rotate them back through. When one gets out, two go in. So I want to say thank you to Bernadette Rabbi for this article. All right, so while the whole pie chart provides a comprehensive snapshot of our correctional system, the graphic does not capture the enormous turn in the out of our correctional facilities and the far larger universe of people who lives are affected by the criminal justice system everywhere. 641,000 people walk out of prison gates, but people go to jail over 11 million times a year. Jail turns is particularly high because people in jail have not been convicted. Some have been arrested and will make bail in a few hours or days, and others are too poor to and must remain behind bars until their trial. Only a small number, 187,000 on any given day, have been convicted, generally serving misdemeanor sentences under a year. With those, with a sense of the big picture, that's our pie chart, a common follow-up question might be, how many people are locked up for drug offenses? We know that 500,000 people are locked up because of drug offenses. The data confirms that the nonviolent drug convictions are defining characters in federal prison system, but play only a supported role in the state and local levels. While most people in the state and local facilities are not locked up for drug offenses, most states continue to practice of arresting people for drug possessions, destabilizing individuals' lives and communities. Drug arrests give residents over police communities criminal records, which reduce employment prospects of increased and likelihood of a longer sentence for a future offense. All of the offense data presents comes with an important set of caveats. A person in prison for multiple offenses is reported only for the most serious offenses. So far, examples that are people in prison for violent offenses who might have also been convicted of a drug offense. Further, almost all convictions are a result of a plea bargain. Where people plead guilty to a lesser offense, perhaps different categories, or one that they may not have actually committed. And many of these category groups together, people convicted of a wide range of offenses. For example, murder is generally considered to be an extremely serious offense. But murder groups together, the rare groups of serial killers with people who committed acts that are unlikely for reasons of circumstances or advanced age to either happen again with offense or that the average American may not consider to be murder at all. For example, the felony murder rules says that if someone dies during a commission of a felony, everyone involved can be as guilty as the murderer as the person who pulled the trigger. Driving a getaway car during a bank robbery where someone actually got killed is indeed a serious offense, but many may be surprised that this is considered murder. You just drove the car away. How did you know that they may or may not even be doing that offense, but you're still going down with them? The whole pie mythology also exposes some disturbing facts about the youth entrapped in our juvenile justice system. Too many are there for the most serious offenses that is not even a crime. For example, there are 7,000 youths behind bars for technical violations of requirement of their probation rather than from for the new offense. Further, 600 youths are behind bar for status offenses, which are behavior that are not law violations for adults, such as running away, truancy, and so forth. Turning finally to the people who are locked up criminally or civilly in immigration issues as well, we find that 16,000 people are in federal prison for criminal convictions of violating federal immigration laws, and a separate 41,000 are civil detained by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, separate from any criminal proceedings, and are physically confined in a federally run or privately run immigration detention facility or in a local jail under contact with ICE. Notability: for these categories do not include immigration representation in other pie slices because the non-immigration related criminal convictions. Now armed with the big picture of how many are locked up in the United States, where and why, we have a better foundation for the long overdue conversation about criminal justice reform. For example, the data makes it clear that the ending on the war on drugs will not alone end mass incarceration, but the federal government and some states have efficiently reduced their incarceration population by turning to a drug policy reform. Looking to the whole pie also opens up another conversation about where we should focus our energies. What is the role in the federal government is ending mass incarceration? No, they're not. The federal prison system is just a small slice of the total pie. But federal government can certainly use its financial power to incentivize and better path forward. At the same time, how can the elected sheriff, district attorney, judges slow the flow of people into the criminal justice system? Good question. Are state officials, prosecutors willing to rethink both the war on drugs and reflect policies that have served to increase both the odds of incarceration and the length of stay for violent offenses? Do policymakers and the public have to focus to confront for the second largest slice of pie the thousands of locally administered in jail? And does it even make sense to arrest millions of poor people each year for minor offenses? No, it doesn't. Makes them post bail money for bail and then lock them up when they can't afford to pay it. Will our leaders be brave enough to redirect corrections spending to a smarter investment like community-based drug treatments and job training? Can we implement reforms that both reduce the number of people incarcerated in the U.S. and the well-known racial and ethical disparities in the criminal justice system? These are all good questions. And once we have wrapped our minds around the whole pie of the mass incarceration, we would zoom in and out of the note, and that began locked up is just one piece of the larger pie of the correctional control. There are another 840,000 people on parole, a type of conditional release from prison, and a staggering 3.7 million people on probation, what is typically the alternative sentence, particularly given to often enormous conditions in probation. Now, I've seen them restrict that and put them back in jail, and then restrict it and put them in prison. So it's a revolving door. They're just going back in. Even if they didn't commit another crime, it may be for not paying your fine, it may be because you didn't check in on time, or you don't have an address. Those silly things. They've made it impossible for people on parole or probation to get a job. People don't want to hire them. They can't get a home because people don't want to rent to them. Regardless of what the charges are on them, the person that is the employer or the rental place, they all look at the one thing that you've been convicted. They don't want to know what it was, when it was, or why it was. You're now homeless. You're going back to jail if your probation officer finds that out. That's sad. Policymakers should be cautious of alternatives to incarceration that can easily widen the net of criminalization to people who are not a threat to public safety. And that's what I was just talking about. They're not a threat. They didn't cause another crime. They made it against the law to not have a job, to not have an apartment or a home. They've made it illegal to be homeless. Now that we can see the big picture of how many people are locked up in the United States in the various types of facilities, we can see that something needs to change. In Oregon, it's Measure 11 that's causing mass incarceration. It's mandatory minimum sentencing. Looking at the big picture requires us to ask if it really makes sense to lock up 2.3 million people on any given day. Given this nation's distinctions of having a high incarceration rate in the world, both policymakers and public have the responsibility to carefully consider each individual slice in the turn to ask whether its legitimate social goals are served by putting each category behind bars, and whether any benefit really outweighs the social or fiscal costs. We're optimistic that the whole pie approach can give Americans who can are ready for a fresh look at the criminal justice system some of the tools they need to demand meaningful changes to how we can do this with the justice system. The problem is with that is they're putting their money in the prison instead of putting it in rehabs or mental facilities that are deeply needed. All prison and policy initiative reports are collaborative endeavors, but this report builds a successful collaboration of 2014, 2015, and 2016 version. For this year's report, the authors are particularly indebted in a small of the Detention Watch Network for their feedback and research, pointers in immigration detention, general research. But what we're getting at is the mass incarceration is caused by mandatory minimum sentencing, and in Oregon, that's Measure 11. It's being abused. It's not helping. It's also having children fall under Measure 11 as an adult. They won't be successful as an adult when they do get out. They're set in a criminal situation with the parents now are other inmates. Not always good for juvenile. Thank you for your time. My name is Cynthia Lester from Abolish Oregon Measure 11. almost fell over there. Is that off now?
No, we're still talking on the air. Thank you very much, Cynthia. Okay, all you people out there in TV land, Brother King J, would you like to come out and finish?
Sure.
Let all the people out there know what your message is, because I still would appreciate it. Thank you, Cynthia. And I would love you to come back next week. I know it'll be Easter, but you're welcome to come back. Here we go.
Okay, sure, you betcha.
Okay, here.
Okay, yeah, I can slide right back in here. That's right.
Yeah, go
Yes,
ahead.
certainly. I
You
appreciate
gotta
it.
keep so we can see it on TV.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know. I know. Okay, one thing here. Let me give this to Sister Ellie too, so that she has the.
Have to see because it's on the TV.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she has that. Last week when I was here, the number got wrong, but Sister Ellie is here now, so we're gonna correct that too. I want to say that to some of the viewers, and some of you do have my number anyway, so that's not really the issue. I just like for things to be correct, and yeah. Okay. And I'm glad she got that Measure 11 thing up there, because that affects everybody. And people should know that if you're with somebody, you're going to get just as much time because you're there. So that's what people really should glean into. And I never have liked the fact of the reprimand on that in terms of youth being put into a prison environment. That's a child. So all that remanding your youth up to adult court and all that stuff, all that gets confusing. That's not helping matters none either. So she didn't necessarily mention that, but I'm mentioning it. That's why I'm here, because that makes every bit of difference in terms of how a child perceives the world. They learn more things in there than they would out here if, they're exposed to them. So anyway, I brought along, like I said, the Charters of Freedom here, and I did read them real fast the first time, and I've also want to bring something else up to share to share with you what they didn't get when they came to my home before. This is Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I'm going to say this about this. Certainly, the new administration is never going to measure up to this here at all. Like I said, all he need to do is keep them machines greased so that people are able to get what's coming to them here in this country, this so-called land of the free, home of the brave. That's about all. That's about all it is. I can't see nothing else. So I'm sharing this picture with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and certainly, I doubt if this administration measures up. I wasn't born then, but still, I know this is during the time of the Depression and stuff. He was able to finagle and wiggle and do all that stuff to keep the country on his feet. So, not to take nothing away from Barack, neither. President Obama, let me say. He certainly did the same thing, too. But just because of the fact that he looks like you-know-who, that's why I brought the picture in, just to share it with you. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, property of the Oregon Black Museum. And I've shared that with you. So anyway, we have a switch in the studio today. That's why, everybody's crawling over each other and everything. So anyway, we'll make it. That's all that counts. Once again, is there such a thing as freedom? And all this stuff about land of the free and home of the brave, we see on TV the statistics about those in prison and even females. Everybody wants to think it's a male all the time. No, it's not. The women's prisons are full of women. Let me tell you, something's really wrong with that. And we have laws and standards and things we must go by, but it's got to be something dreadfully wrong. In other countries, in comparison to this one, I'm not going to try to give you all the figures and statistics. People have to go on their computers and look them up themselves. But that should tell you that something's wrong. Something's got to be done. So they're building more prisons is what I want to say, instead of building more educational institutions. Now, prevention to me is very important. You got to be educated in order to prevent something from happening. Knowledge is power, is what I'm trying to tell you. So in putting all that stuff together in an ingredient and stuff, nobody's going to be going into incarceration because they'd have a way to avoid it and to know differently. And even if they got out, this is the rehabilitation factor, I imagine, then they got to be on the right track. If not, I heard a mention of revolving door. That's what it is. They're institutionalized, so they come out for a while and go right back in. Something's got to be wrong with that too. And this is what I do know too, since I'm on that for a minute. I've heard people say, oh, I'd much rather go to Rikers, or I'd much rather go to Parchment, or I'd much rather go to McNeil or Walla Walla or something. They got TVs, they got weights, they got this, they got that. Something's got to be wrong with your mentality and thinking that that's a place to go to have advantages of these things they have instead of being in the free world and having those things yourself. And at your home or the community center, wherever you would have access to them, I don't know. But something's got to be wrong with that thinking too. So I just had to throw that in. Over the years, I've heard that, and it's kind of troubled me, like, what? You know, but it's institutionalized behavior. That's what I'm trying to say. So anyway, like I said, I'm trying to get in where I fit in, and I read it to you in a hurry before. I want to go back through it again. This is the Bill of Rights. That's what this is. I showed it before, the Bill of Rights. And the 6th amendment to this is Article 6. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures, stealing, taking stuff that people are doing all the time from everybody. What's the use in having something if somebody's going to come and take it? That's what I'm still on. But okay, shall not be violated, and no warrants shall be issued. See, but upon probable cause, supported by an oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. So, like I said, people get everything taken from them. They work hard for what they get. That's what this is all about. Even with the land especially, that's what I'm saying. You can't, there's films and movies and things about land and how we lose it and just a number of things that happen. We don't have a right to fight back. We don't have a way to fight back. And somehow or another, it affects us mentally, physically, and tremendously, let me say. So that's why I said before, we need attorneys, we need lawyers, we need people that's going to really have our backs in this thing to help us fight this thing that's going on. And it's not just about the land neither. Let me say this with the Innocence Project too, since I'm thinking about it. The people have gotten people out of jail, and they don't even want to pay them a dime for being in there for years and wrongfully accused. So it's not just about the land. We need lawyers that's going to fight for them to get something from their lives being stolen and taken away. Their freedom. That's what this is. Charters of freedom. Number 7, I'm going to read it to you again too. No person shall be held to answer for capital or otherwise infamous crime unless a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces and militia stuff when in actual service, in time of war, public danger, nor shall any person be subject to the same offense twice, be put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled by any criminal case to be witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. See, that's 2 things there. We ain't getting paid for nothing in the first place, and a lot of us have been wrongfully imprisoned, like I said, right here, for no reason. Deprived of life, liberty. That's your freedom or property. So, just go on the computer, get a copy of this. It's only an hour show. I can't say or do nothing that's going to make you realize what this is. You got to read it for yourself. So anyway, oh boy, it's a whole lot going on, and I think someone's trying to call me now, but you have to call me later because I'm trying to still get this point. Oh man, that wasn't mine. Get this point across. I bought the book back. That's what I said earlier, and people need to know that something like this wasn't just written because of the fact that they didn't have nothing else to do. This is the constitutional law book. See? And it does have every bit to do with the things in this country. So no time to go into it. But the fact is, now that we're going through all this stuff about immigrants and refugees and all that stuff or whatever, even in here it tells about Negroes. That's what they called us back then, Negroes, and how we wasn't able to buy land, and we didn't have the right to sue them because of the fact we couldn't buy land, and all this stuff. All this stuff has been presented before the Supreme Court and stuff. This is a constitutional law book. So Gerald Gunther, just go to the library somewhere and try to get one and look at it. And it may have something to do with your particular efforts to remove the administration now. It spoke about the Congress people who he's elected, and not the ones now, but I mean back then, the power that they have, and impeaching the president as well. So I just thought I'd let you know, thank you, that that's why I brought that too. So I didn't come, like I said, I came here to get in where I can fill in, and just to let you know, there's a lot going on here in Portland, Oregon, where we are, that we need to pay a lot of attention to, and we need you to come to the studio, which is not my last plea sitting here. And I'm trying to, like I said, come to bring you things that's important, especially what I mentioned, the police chief now under investigation here in the city. See, and I'm glad that Mayor Ted Wheeler isn't, should I say, stumbling over his words or making himself look like some fool as a mayor. He's taking the initiative to put the chief on leave, and he's one of his administration people. That's the first tactic right there, to let them know that they can't disrespect you or run over you, and that's what we need to do. If not, it's like we're afraid of them, like it's a Casapo thing, or there's a lot of people I know isn't afraid of them, but they just don't know where to begin. And coming on this show, voicing your opinion is one way. And I often learned years ago that the pen is mightier than the sword. You can write them letters. You can send them to the legislature or the Congress or even to the White House. I wrote to the White House before, and the president answered me back. And someday I may bring it and read it. But that's how you got to get things done. You can't just sit around and talk about them in the living room. You got to write, put them in paper. Make it be assertive is all I'm trying to say. And teach your children to do that. Our children can't go around. That's what this is all about. They're not going to be able to fight this thing once they get to an age where they're going in for the draft, and especially when they get ready to vote. We have to prepare them and to have it to where they don't have to do all this struggling. A lot of people are homeless. And why? Because they're taking up every inch of space that they want you to pay for, and then tell you what to do with it once you pay for it. But all this stuff, we got to get rid of that particular practice. It's the system. That's what it's called, the system. It's hard to fight by yourself and with a few people, and even for coming right here from the small studio here in Portland. But the voice is heard and it's getting out. That's why I come here. If somebody really wants to be involved and to help do something, I'm willing to be a participant in terms of donating my time. That's all we ever have. What else do we have? And so that's about it for me today too. But what I got to say, my time is running. My time is running. I'm gonna come back as often as I can and say what I can. It's just a never-ending battle, and it's getting worse. And that's why I said we got to do something so it doesn't take advantage of us. I'm glad that I made it today with the rain and all and everything. So. And giving props to my brothers and sisters of the nation, in the nation. Assalamu alaikum to you too. I can't let that go by without getting off of the air. We just got to learn to work together and to try to get some positive things done that we know we're benefiting from. We're, like Apostle Cecil says, move forward. Keep it moving forward. That's what we got to do. They want us to be affected by all this little distraction stuff that they're coming up with. I don't have time for that. And like I said, we need to go to the camp, take back what belonged to us, because we've lost a lot. And that's black brothers, brown brothers, red brothers, everybody. So that's what it is. And they want to put us all on reservations, so to speak. That's wrong too. Like they put the Japanese in concentration camps and stuff like that over. It's a lot of stuff that's been done. So my time is just about out, and like I said, I appreciate the time to come back and fill in. And the sister She brought the message of a Measure 11. I'm glad she came to say something. And encouraging all of y'all out there to come and say something, whatever your interest may be. Poor folk need community justice. That's what this is all about. So we all are poor folk when you think of it, and we all need some kind of justice done. So that's why I'm here, and hope to be around and to be back from time to time to bring you something that I know you can use. That's what. And a lot of time we miss it because it's not on the nightly news. Maybe that's what I'm trying to think to say. This is a local avenue for us to share information with each other. So in lieu of that, I guess that's about it for me, Apostle Cecil. And you know, no need for me to rattle on and on. Listen, I'm gonna be back. I'll be around, and the show was good. I appreciate it. I do. Yeah. Okay. Let me let you get it again. I can't see the pinch on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
There we are.
All right. Okay. I'm good.
All right.
Slide on through this.
Okay. I want to thank all you people out there in TV land for coming on television to be a part of POFO Community for Justice and try and get all these messages heard. And I appreciate the sister for coming over, speaking about Measure 11. And I told her if you're welcome to come anytime, as many as times you want to speak on Measure 11, because I want to see things get done. And that's what my heart is, where my heart is at. So there a lot of times people ask me, well, you can come on with me and we'll talk together. I have nothing to say because the things that I want to talk about is about the banks and the banks run all these scams. And that's what I'm saying. They're not a part of the U.S. Bank. They're not a part of the Bank of America. They're not a part of, well, I'm saying they're all a part of Bank of America, or U.S. Bank. But the money that comes out of the particular system is a system that was set up in 1913 and is conning people out of all their money and making a way of us have to pay astronomical taxes. And that's what I want people to start paying attention to. Every man, woman, and child in America could have gone to college for free and got a great education, a lucrative education. And I'm just saying where they could have been making money hand over fist and could have been able to benefit themselves and everyone else. But I'm just saying, stop fighting amongst yourself, not trying to be Republicans or Democrats or independents or whatever you are. We, the people, we are human beings, and I'm fighting for the rights of all human beings. So I'm on nobody's side when it comes to, I got mine, why don't you get yours? I'm not into that mindset. I play to win for everybody. And when it's all said and done, it's all said and done. We all can be happy in the same moment, because that's what it's all about with me. I'm fighting for everyone. Brother King J and Sister Ellie and Brother Steve, they're all here fighting for the same cause, to move people forward, to do constructive things, to try and help people do what's right. And Sister Cynthia that was just here a moment ago, the one that's fighting for Measure 11, moving forward, trying to help people move forward. So I don't know if we're about off the air. How much time do I have, Sister Ellie? 4 minutes. I got 4 more minutes. So I'm Apostle Cecil. God Almighty love you, and I love you too. And I just want all you people to know that start writing, just like Brother King J said, start writing to various people that are in positions of power to tell them that we want to get our taxes down or get them under control to where we're all benefit, not those wealthy sitting on their fat behinds or narrow up behinds or whatever the case may be. That's what's going on. And they're just sucking up all the money and looking straight faced and put on some raggedy clothes to try and blend in where they fit in, where they can get in, or these little scams where they trying to act like they're trying to put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill or whoever they're trying to get put on the $20 bill to distract people, because all that money that in 1913 when they ran that scam and they met at Jekyll Island was, how can we fool all these people? They're not any particular bank for the United States. They're not for nobody but themselves. And they suck in all that money and we're paying taxes. Who is the money going to? Who is it benefiting? A lot of people have spoken on the fact that it's all a scam and a con. Pay attention. Trust God Almighty and trust your heart. Stay strong. So anyway, that's it. I think I about said everything I need to say. And I again want to thank you, Brother Steve, and for being here, and Brother Kingsley, I'm happy that you were here. And I want to thank you again. I'm happy that you come every week. And fix where I can go have me a pee break or whatever, because that's what I need to do at times. As you get older, you have to always go to the toilet, and it's just nice when someone comes and sit in for you. And the kids or grown-ups, I don't care. I just speak from my heart, and I said if Trump can say the pussy and all that crap, and nobody want to get mad, and then one woman tells another woman, I got a daughter's watch this show, and you shouldn't talk like that. That lady told her off because it said, Trump can talk like that, and I can't talk like that. She's trying to tell her how ignorant she was being. So pay attention, but don't be taking such offense. I wish I had my donkey here, which is the ass, and my other picture that was here. So anyway, have a blessed night. Stay strong. Okay, thank you, Sister Allie. And I think that's it, huh? Yeah. Thank you, Sister Allie. So